and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton, and today we're going to talk about a wonderful nonprofit drill team that helps inspire kids. My guest is Mark Cooper. You're a retired educator, and you've been doing this for a long time.
For quite a long time, yes.
How long have the Marching Elites been around?
Well, the Marching Elites goes back as far as 1976. It was formed originally at Hampton High School, GRTC, as a military type of drill team. I was the commander there at Hampton High for that team, and then when I graduated and moved on, the team kind of...
So you were in high school?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, so it goes way back. And the team, when I left, kind of dissolved after a couple of years, and I went on to college and went to work at a school, Virginia School for the Deaf and Blind in Hampton. Was closed about 6.5 years ago. But I had a challenge from some of the disabled kids out there. One day I had just got out on the lawn and I had started doing some of the type of drills that we created back in high school, and they kind of gave me a challenge and said, well, Mr. Cooper, can you teach us how to do those things that you're doing? They got excited about it. So that became a challenge to me because I really didn't know how to train visually and hearing impaired kids.
And some kids were both. I mean,
some of them was both, had multiple disabilities. And so there was a gentleman by the name of Ed Pearson who had been working at the school for many, many years. And he had sort of a drill team back in the 50s where he brought hearing impaired and deaf, hearing impaired and visually impaired kids together. And so I went over to Ed's classroom one day and I said, Ed, this is what the kids has challenged me to do. Can you help me with combining the verbal with the hand signals so we could train both disabilities, which were the hearing impaired and the visually impaired. And he showed me some ways to kind of combine my hands with the voice, and then I came up with some creative things. So we went back and told the kids we'll try to start a drill team. So we started the first, what was known as the first hearing and visually impaired drill team in the country, and it was called the Golden Elites Drill Team. And we began to travel around locally with these kids, spinning rifles over each other's head, and it was just great. And during that time, the superintendent of Hampton Public Schools, which was Dr. Kennedy, Billy Kennedy, approached me and said, hey, look, these disabled kids are doing so well with this thing. What is the possibility of starting a drill team at the Machin Elementary School, which would evolve to other schools eventually? And we did that. We used to carry the disabled kids into these schools, and they were actually training the non-disabled kids, and it got kind of, it was so remarkable.
Wow.
And once this thing began to evolve, the superintendent asked me if I would actually open the drill team up on a citywide basis. So we had our first open enrollment with the Hampton City Schools back in 1994. And we had about 1,500 kids to come out for that 100 slots that we were going to start the drill team. And this was from all elementary and middle school.
Wow.
It was remarkable, the amount of attention and interest that these kids had. So we went out and then founded the Marching Elites, which is a 501c3 not-for-profit, which became what we have now, the Marching Elites Association. And we still do an open enrollment every September in all of the Hampton City schools, elementary and middle schools, where the kids can come out and apply for a position on the Marching Elites.
So you've got about 200 kids a year.
Yes, we keep around that amount. Of course, it fizzles down through the year.
Sure.
So we keep around 175 to 200 kids.
And they practice how often?
Basically once a week, 3 hours on Saturday from 8 to 11. Now, if we have a major performance, say we're going, last year we performed at the Chick-fil-A Bowl, and that was in front of 70,000 people. And and that was great for the kids. Then we kind of up practice during the week. We make sure the kids get their studies first, and then later on, late evening is when we would have a practice if we go on a major event.
So you perform locally at
Yes.
local parades and events, but you've had national and bigger, really, exposure.
Yes, all over the country. We've been on national TV twice. We was on the Showtime at the Apollo when it was huge, and that was aired internationally. And we was also on 106 in Park, BET 106 in Park, which is a musical show that's really big with kids. We performed on cruise boats. We performed on the we went to Jamaica last year and performed on the Carnival cruise.
Oh my gosh.
Year before that, it was in the Bahamas, and we're going back to Jamaica this year for spring break. We've been to Canada. We performed in New York in front of the White House, the gate of the White House 3 times. So the kids has had some real great experiences across the country. Now, the main thing is we focus not on the travel and the glitter and glam of the drill team. Our main focus is the academics. The kids have to keep at least a C average to perform or travel with us. Of course, they can't have naughty behavior or get in any trouble in school. We also have a booster club meeting once a month where we involve parents. And the parents can use this as a clutch for these kids to do the right thing at home as well.
Well, now this is one of the things, because you know, Hampton, and certainly not just Hampton, but communities across the nation are concerned about our young people falling into bad habits starting in that middle school time frame and getting worse. Right. Organizations like yours, there isn't as much for middle school kids. There isn't as much for elementary kids. You get them in early and hang on to them, don't you?
That is right. And that's actually our focus was this year, because we're going into more and more churches as well. And we're preaching, so to speak, that don't forget the kids who are doing the right thing. With all of this other stuff and that's going on with the negativity of youngsters today, we've got to really keep our focus on the kids who are doing the right thing, because they
are the kids who are on the edge.
Oh, who's on the edge, exactly. Because it's so easy to get into other things that's not good for kids and youngsters. So we want to be one of those clutches to say, here, you don't have to be a part of this. You can come and you can travel with the Marching Elites. You can do the right thing. You can be around positive kids. And, you know, because so many of our kids is in a single parent home, you know, and, you know, they're looking either for that father figure or maybe the mother figure. But we want to be able to kind of tighten that little void that these kids have and just be a positive role model for them.
So how many volunteers do you have who help you with this? This is, I mean, 200 kids is a lot to handle.
Yeah. I have one of the greatest, really, and I don't say this lightly, one of the greatest volunteer staff that you can ever have. These people come out, they give their time, efforts, they travel with the kids, they work out the tutoring program. Because if our kids fall in their grades, then they have to get into our tutoring program. They're on a probationary period. We have a technology center. We opened 10 years ago, we opened a school, the Little Tin Soldiers Educational Center, so we can even start these kids on this discipline, what we call discipline cycle, at the age of 6 weeks. That school serves kids from 6 weeks to 12 years of age. So the volunteers that we have is just, I just can't say enough, because definitely Mark Cooper couldn't have done it alone over 21 years. It was the...
So to say you're a drill team really isn't getting at the heart of what you do.
That's right, that's right. The drill team is what I call the hook to catch the fish. And, you know, if we can catch these kids' interest, then all this other stuff, making, you know, a well-rounded youngster, then that's what we're really about.
And so why does the drill team model work? I mean, certainly there's sports organizations that hook kids, there's religious, there's arts, there's all kinds of things, but what is it about the drill team model?
Well, the drill team model is basically a youth development. And, you know, we kind of hone in on that discipline piece that, you know, is very structured. It's very, very structured. And, you know, it's something that I believe these kids are looking for. And once they begin to learn this drill team and they get it, because it's not easy. And they go home and they struggle and they struggle. And once they get it, you can see the difference in their in their whole personality. So what we do is say, hey, if you can get this drill team, as difficult as some of these moves is, you can go in that classroom and you can work it out, and you can, these classes that may seem difficult to you, you can work it out and you can do it.
It's a confidence builder for one thing.
Definitely, it's a confidence builder.
Our kids need that. They need to do, one thing right. They need to have a passion. It's also physical.
It's physical.
And when you're getting them moving, it's a good thing. It helps reduce stress and keep them involved.
Yeah, it's a good thing for us old folks too, because I'm 52 years old and I call myself still being able to do the split. Now, when I do the split,
I can make you get up here and do it now.
Oh my gracious!
Not in your suit.
Yeah, it would be kind of difficult. Now, I can do the split. The problem is getting back up. It's easier to get down, but getting back up. But I love it because it keeps me and my instructors and the volunteers, it keeps us motivated. We're getting older, and the body sometimes can't react like our mind and heart it wants to. But just the motivation that we're helping kids, and that this thing is something that can be a clutch between a kid going the wrong way and doing the right thing.
So important. Now, you've been around long enough that a lot of your kids have graduated and gone on. Have any of them come back? Are they telling you, hey, thank you, this made a difference in my life?
Yes. Let me tell you the greatest thing that just happened to me as the founder of the Marching Elites. We had a young man who started with me when he was in the 5th grade. He went on to dental school. His name is Donovan Caves, and he is now on the board of directors. We just voted him on to the board, and he's a dental surgeon. And another great story.
And he came back to this area.
He came back to this area.
That's such a good thing too.
And he's giving back to the kids and helping train these kids, to help us with that, what I told you, that volunteerism. And we also have a young lady who started with me. She was in the 6th grade, and her name is Harmony Mason, and she just founded and opened the Harmony Law Firm. She went to William & Murray, and she's what I call a top-notch lawyer. And she's on the board of directors, so she comes back, and she even has her nieces on the team now. So, those are just two. We have one kid, his name, I call them kids, but
right.
He's an associate professor at A&T University. So they're doing great things, and they're coming back, and they telling these kids, that this team was something that helped me stay focused and helped me, throughout my journey in college and so forth. So it's been a wonderful thing. So we have 2 board members that used to be Marching Elites that are now professionals, and they're giving back.
Does that give you some confidence that this program can continue when Mark Cooper gets tired?
It works. And this is what I say to the board and to the kids. The Marching Elites has to go on long after Mark Cooper's gone. Mark Cooper is not the Marching Elites. The Marching Elites is an organization that supports youngsters in a youth development and a training discipline that builds self-esteem and keep these kids on the right track.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all you do, and congratulations on your, I'm getting teared up. This is so bad. But, it is a wonderful thing that you've been able to continue this and grow it and help so many kids succeed. You're an inspiration.
Well, thank you.
And so are your kids.
Yes, they are.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I can't wait to see you in your next performance. Not in Jamaica. I won't be able to follow you, but, maybe somewhere locally.
You'll see me in that split, but you'll see someone helping me get back up.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for watching. I hope you've learned of one of the organizations in the community that maybe you've seen at a parade like I have and didn't know the full story and understand the impact they're having on our youth. Thank you for watching.